Vineyard after vineyard full of grapes. It's time for South Africa's wineries to bring in this year's harvest. We interview one very busy woman, winemaker of the year.
So join me on this green cab drive.
Our own Ntsiki Byela tours Cape Town in carefree style. And it's a place to see and be seen, or just to pick up a pork chop. Mzoli meat hasn't changed much through the years, but its clientele surely has. We head to South Africa's mother city this week on Inside Africa. Hello and welcome to Inside Africa. I'm Aisha Sase. On the southwestern tip of the continent, in small, picturesque towns with names like Franschhoek and Stellenbosch, the art of winemaking dates back to the 1600s. But like much of the country's complicated history, this trade built on beauty also has an ugly past. It's against the backdrop of apartheid-era discrimination that black winemakers like Ntsiki Byela entered the profession. Despite the challenges, we quickly found out the woman winemaker of the year has incredible determination, making sure her beloved industry reflects the true beauty of her country.
Harvest time in the Western Cape.
Now I have to look at the skin, look at the seeds, look at the vine itself, look at the overall vineyard to see if it's ready or not.
Wineries in and around the quiet town of Stellenbosch wake up and take in carton after carton of grapes.
Once they are ripe, then I have to get them into the cellar. We put them in the cold storage, doing the crushing the following day, open fermenters, doing punch downs. Once it's fermented, finished, we take its separation with the basket press, and then from there it goes straight to the barrels.
It's winemaker Ntsiki Byela's sixth harvest. By now, the pressure of being South Africa's first black female winemaker has long since been replaced by her obsession with the craft.
Did you ever think when you were, a little girl in KwaZulu-Natal that at some point people in Switzerland and all over the world would be enjoying wine made by you here?
No, I never thought of that. Never thought of that. But now it's like it feels fantastic. It feels fantastic. Excuse me, I have to eat my grapes. See, let me just show you something. Whenever I come to the vineyard, I pick a berry just to check if it's ready or not. I'll split it and then I'll look at the seed inside. It says it's brown now, so this berry is ready.
The grapes right through to the wine itself. It's like you're bathing.
Yes, it is. It is. I think it's just fascinating working through that whole thing, that whole process. When I was growing up,
in an industry with 350 years of history in South Africa, 335 of those extremely segregated, the process of becoming a winemaker wasn't easy.
Do people ever find it strange, a black woman in the vineyards? I mean, it's not...
You know what? I don't think it is strange, but at the beginning, obviously, the wine industry has been known to be white, and when you had to come in, you initially feel like an outsider, but again, you meet people, you talk to people, and you get yourself involved, and then you become part of it.
She hadn't even tasted wine before she made the 800-mile journey from KwaZulu-Natal to the University of Stellenbosch on scholarship.
As he explains the fruit and all those things, I was thinking, this is going to be delicious. The explanation said it all for me. So with a speed, pick up the glass, there I go. And I realized that, this is terrible.
Her first sip didn't go as planned. Her classes were taught in unfamiliar Afrikaans and her classmates were white. But for Byela, her scholarship was always an opportunity.
On my graduation day, I said, what, it felt like I just climbed Table Mountain and I just reached the top of it. It's like on that day, you feel like there was this heavy thing that just got off. And you're like, wow, I'm really graduating. It was really moving.
She says the payoff came a few years later after receiving her first award.
My highlight was actually the first time I gave my grandmother a bottle of wine that I had made. That was my highlight. Because I came, it was my first wine, it won gold from Michelangelo, Cape Cross. And then I was excited. I went home and I'm like, taste this one. And then she said, you know, her facial expression. She was like, it's nice, but you could see the facial expression that this tastes horrible. But she was saying it's nice. And I think every time when I think about wine, I always think about that moment when she was proud. I could see the pride in her. She was excited. She was, you know, that she's drinking the wine that I have made as the granddaughter.
More awards followed, and just this past year she won South Africa's Woman Winemaker of the Year. It's a statement of just how far the industry has come in the short time since apartheid. But Byela is still one of only around 15 qualified black winemakers in a country that exports more than 400 million litres of wine a year.
Just to create an awareness that there is winemaking, there is a career, you can make a career on that. There is the wine industry that people can get involved into. Black people and wine, it's been like, you know, we have our own dreams to do it. Wine was something that sort of, some way away of our roots. But now, people are drinking wine and they're educated about wine.
So how do we make it more accessible to people?
No, people just have to, I think, not think of wine as something else, but think of wine as part of the meal. You know, even though you still have to smell it, just to get the flavors, because that's amazing to get those flavors first before even drinking the wine.
Listening to her describe her wines is clear for her this is much more than a profession.
The Hercules, you get that rustic character, you know, like metallic rustic, something that is rustic. And there's those hints of earthiness as if you're walking on the wetlands, on the wood forest. After the rain, you know, when you get that smell. That's what you pick on the Hercules.
Which is your favourite? What do you look for?
Which one is my favorite among my wines? I have 7 kids, and until my mom tells me who's the favorite between me and my sister, I'll let you know which one. I'll have to try and find out which one is my favorite.
Her focus is in the flavours of her blends and not in the attention she's received.
People always, when they come in, they know, okay, there's a winemaker, they know there's a winemaker. It's still a car, the lady winemaker, but they haven't met her.
Thank you very much. Anyway, it's Ntsiki, nice meeting you. No, come on. Serious? Are you serious? You look different on your photograph.
I'll tell them at the end that actually they're talking to me. I was the first then. Now I'm just a winemaker like other winemakers. But I mean, that had a lot of pressure because I knew that in the wine industry I'm not just representing myself. It's not about me anymore. And there are black people out there who are looking up to me. It's a good pressure, yes. It makes you want to go forward. It makes you want to do more.
A pressure to produce driving this master winemaker to finish another year's harvest just before summer's last sunset. Lebo Diseko, CNN, Stellenbosch, South Africa.
Our thanks to Lebo on her first report for CNN. Let's take a closer look now at the South African wine industry's recent transformation. In 1994, on the heels of apartheid, South Africa was exporting less than 50 million litres of wine a year, in large part due to heavy economic sanctions. In 2008, just 14 years later, the country was exporting over 400 million litres of wine a year, accounting for 5% of the world's trade in wine. South Africa now ranks as the 9th biggest wine producer in the world. From transforming an industry to transforming transportation, when we return, we take a ride in one of Cape Town's green cabs.